Damn it. I'll have to find a way of getting rid of those two myself.
I told you not to let her come down. I know. Do it again, I'll report you. All right. I know.
The machine is working again, but the control wheels haven't been put back on.
I was just going to the storage room. I can bring them to you.
No, Dr. Fuller doesn't want us touching the pressure valves.
As you want. I'm gonna see if there are sleeping pills left. They've run out again upstairs.
Put a few aside for me, will you? And above all, leave the wheels where they are.
Good God. What could this machine be used for? Oops, in the machine. The corpse is complete. Whose are these limbs? It's an ammeter. I didn't expect to see one on this little rock. What is going on here?
You. Yeah, you there. Come here. I don't know what you're doing there, but you don't seem to be friends with the nurses. I can help you. Help me, and I'll owe you one.
What do you want?
Sleep. That's all.
Sleep? You don't want to leave?
No. Have you seen the storm that's brewing? I'm fine here. Except for one problem.
You want sleeping pills, right?
Yeah. And in exchange, I can make noise. Lots of noise.
You'll draw the guards to your cell to allow me to escape.
So, you in? Find something to make me sleep, and I'll take care of the guards for you.
Is it the noise that disturbs you?
No, it's the nightmares. We all have them here. That's what wakes us up. And afterwards, there's no way to get back to sleep.
I'll find you some pills.
Go look in the storage room. There must be sleeping pills there.
What is welling up inside me? I feel it in my head and in my body. Roars and swells and has strength of oceans. Its waves rise and crash, leaving behind them only trail. He enters me. Yes, yes.
Exactly what I need. Locked. control wheel to mount on a plumbing system. Perfect. With these chains on your wrist, you can't escape. Where do they keep their sleeping pills? My new friend's sleeping pills. Scopolamine, morphine, opium. Nothing but common drugs. I've got what you want.
Show me!
There. And remember, they don't come for free.
Don't you worry, you'll have your diversion. Go on now, go hide yourself. The crows! They're everywhere! Make them go away!
me out.
If I do not stop, he does not catch me. If he does not catch me, I do not sleep. If I do not sleep, I do not see him. I do not hear him. He does not call me. He does not call. He calls me. If I walk, I do not stop. If I do not stop, I catch him. If I catch him, I sleep. If I sleep, am I dead?
This machine seems to consume a great deal of electricity. What will happen if I increase the current to the limit? I can still increase the load. Worse and worse. Vats of rotten flesh? An elaborate electrical system? Like a dumb pulp novel. What's the connection between this meat and the electrical installation? Have I activated anything? I can still increase the load. It's done. Now for the others.
One, two, three, four, five, six. No, not six. 4, 5.
I bet there's no longer any priests on Darkwater.
My calculations are always right. It's the date. It's the date.
That's the problem. I don't know what this date is, but the calculations, they're right. 4 days, maximum. 5 at the most.
What carnage. Theoretically, I've only got one lever to push. I can still increase the load. It's locked. The green gas leaves from here, and it runs through the whole building. This valve controls the pressure. It's impossible to break this chain with my bare hands. A duct. Now for the next step. This padlock is too complicated for me. It's no use. The padlock won't give. This lever must turn on the gas machine. I've got to hide before the guards see me.
Who did this? Is somebody here?
Hell's teeth. Fuller's gonna think we did this. We gotta tell him, though.
The door is blocked on the other side.
Doctor, is that you?
Don't you worry about the doctor. Right now, he'll have plenty to keep him busy with his precious machine. It gives us time to get away. I'll undo you.
Get away? Get away where? I can't go anywhere. It'll find me, like it found me here. You're mistaken about the beast. Don't stay with me, or you'll end up the same way.
You're Sanders, aren't you? I heard you from my cell. What did they do to you? What does Fuller want with you?
The doctor? You think it's the doctor who scares me? The doctor wants to heal me. But he's the one who's crazy. He wants to restore my sight. He wants to give me back my eyes. And yet I told him that I didn't want him. I do not want to see it anymore. The real culprit is Sarah. Her and her accursed paintings.
You're kidding me. You're talking about Sarah Hawkins.
The one and only. The legendary. There is no artist more enlightened or cursed than Sarah Hawkins.
In her office, I saw signs of a ritual, perhaps an invocation. These things, that's what makes you say she's cursed.
You're wrong. It was not an invocation, but a revocation. But she failed. And that's what counts.
What's going on this island?
I'm so sorry. We should never have met.
What are you talking about?
Destiny! It has trapped you. Don't let it see you, or you won't be able to escape it. Don't look at it. That's how it finds you.
What finds me?
Sarah Hawkins' visitor. The Chandler.
Sanders, pull yourself together.
Without her, it's no longer possible to save me.
No! Sanders! What the hell? Oh, God. I gotta... Okay. This is insane. What killed him? gas! Oh. My head.
Later. We need to move on.
Who goes there? That nightmare again. I need a drink. No. I want to know what Bradley and Dr. Colden have to say about all this.
You're awake, Mr. Pierce. How do you feel?
Did I sleep long?
The day's only starting. It's fine.
How's our fugitive? Dr. Fuller hasn't reported your disappearance to the force, but that'll come soon.
Bradley?
Who else would it be?
Mr. Pierce, are you all right? You look like you saw a ghost.
There are things I can't explain.
Tell us. What happened?
I met a Francis Sanders. Do you know him?
Of course. He's a patient. Or was. I haven't seen him since Dr. Fuller had him transferred to the basement.
He knew Sarah Hawkins, and that's what killed him.
What? How did he die?
I'm not sure I can explain it.
Tell me how Mr. Sanders died.
I didn't see what, but something was there, with us.
Of what do you speak?
Sanders said it was Sarah Hawkins' visitor. He spoke of it like a living being.
Sarah Hawkins? Have I missed something here? This makes no sense. I don't see how it can help crack the Hawkins case.
You really think she's involved? How could she have murdered Mr. Sanders?
Francis Sanders mentioned Mrs. Hawkins just before dying. It's no coincidence.
You know, Francis Sanders was a well-known art collector. I guess you can still pay a visit to his wife, Irene Sanders.
An art collector, you say? That's probably how they met.
If you plan on having dinner at the Sanders household, please spare the widow the tale of her late husband's suffering.
I don't agree. She deserves the truth.
But that truth may be biased. We don't know the bottom of it.
You're right. Without a plausible explanation for what I saw, let's not jump to conclusions.
That seems wise indeed.
Very well. I'll go to see Francis's widow. Perhaps I'll find a link between her husband's death and Sarah Hawkins.
Don't end up in the hospital this time.
I'll do my best.
Let us go now and learn the truth about what's happening on this island.
The other night's events are still confused in my head.
What can I do for you, sir?
Mrs. Sanders, I'm a private detective. We must talk about your husband and his ties to Sarah Hawkins. Can I come in?
You may. However, before we go any further, please know that my husband died yesterday.
That is precisely what brings me here.
Well, well, look who's here. You know each other?
We met briefly. Time enough to iron out a few matters. The main thing is that we understood one another. The brave detective has a talent for sticking his nose into my business.
I bump into her every time I'm investigating someone's death.
It's a small island, Detective. My island. It's better that it's you bumping into me.
You're investigating Francis' death. Why? Who hired you?
I spoke to Francis before he died. His story suggests a link to a case I'm working on.
Well, since this business has got nothing to do with me, I'll be in your husband's office, Irene. We'll carry on later.
Very well, Miss Baker. This way, Mr. Pierce. And do make yourself comfortable. It would seem that you have much to tell me. May I inquire as to when you had the opportunity to talk to my husband?
Yesterday. I met him at the hospital. He spoke to me about Sarah Hawkins.
Oh, of course he spoke to you about her. That's all he talked about. Sarah Hawkins and her paintings. Please forgive my tone. The fact is that I have not been allowed to see him since he was interned. You, on the other hand, a perfect stranger, were able to see him and even talk with him the day he died. How was he? Were you present when he had this attack? What happened?
What happened to your husband is terrible, Mrs. Sanders. But from what I saw, it was inevitable. The man I met yesterday had lost his reason. He suffers no longer, if you would allow me such a platitude.
Of course. Thank you for your kind words. Nobody in that hospital would have deigned to speak them to me. However, it will require more than that to soothe my mind. I need to understand. How could this happen? In a reputed institute? And right before your eyes. Did you not do anything to help him?
Bueno, vamos a tratar de engañar a la tía.
It's terrible what happened to your husband, but I had nothing to do with it. I was injured, and I came across him in the hospital quite by chance.
Injured? Well, I'm delighted to see you in such fine fettle, Detective. Not everybody enjoyed such a prompt recovery.
I suppose Fuller does do miracles now and again.
Luck is obviously very kind to you. Oh, I'm tired, Mr. Pierce. I would be grateful if you could tell me what you expect of me, and then leave.
Did your husband talk to you about Sarah Hawkins' visitor? A shambler, to use his precise terms.
Well, you can't imagine that's all he talked about. It's exhibited at the center of the gallery. No better place for the painting that endowed him with the privilege of such a shameful and miserable end to his life.
Hold on. The Shambler is a painting by Sarah Hawkins.
Who else to paint such horrors? Take a look for yourself, if you feel so inclined.
It is my only lead at this stage. I suppose I have nothing to lose.
Then you have paid no heed. For my part, I refuse to set foot in that gallery again. But if you're so eager to see it...
Thank you, Mrs. Sanders. I won't be long.
Oye, quiero seguir hablando. No me dejes así, no me dejes así como... Bueno, vamos a investigar.
Did she really care for him, after all?
Acuso un recibo de la carta en la que nos exige el cuerpo de su fallecido marido. Siento informarle que no puedo dar cumplimiento. Malditos. Después de que lo han hecho chicharrón, lo van a hacer hamburguesas. Me recuerda tanto el sistema de salud de mi país. Bueno, vamos a seguir viendo qué es esto.
The day the Shambler came into the Sanders' lives.
A la pintura de Sarah Hawkins. Yo pensé que era de la... Venga. Es que yo soy Batman. A ver. Psicología.
Frances Sanders and Sarah Hawkins were close. Friends, even?
Bueno, no se parece al del manicomio. Vamos por acá. Por favor, está horrible. Por acá.
A house of artists. A house of artists.
Acá está.
Sanders' accession register. He wrote beside the Shambler. Finally. What did Sarah Hawkins fear so much that she didn't want to sell the painting?
A ver. Acá está el vagabundo.
He finally won. Was Sanders aware of his imminent doom?
A ver, vamos a ver. Bueno, al parecer ella está decepcionada.
She despises Sarah Hawkins, but it's the painting she truly hates. Why? She didn't want Sanders to have the painting. She must have felt devastated.
Ah! ¿Qué?
The Shambler. I need to see it.
Tienes cara de perdida. Perdida.
Let's see what this cylinder has to say once it's inserted in a phonograph.
Edición Gold Model. Esto requiere una fotografía. Los cuadros acá son bien extraños. Siento un poco de incertidumbre, no sé. Hasta podría decir miedo.
Irene, I made a mistake. I fear that it might be too late for me. Nobody should have her, except to burn everything. I never had the courage. Pay somebody to do it. He's inside my head. I see him behind my eyelids each time I shut my eyes. I can't take any more. I can't hold him back. Forgive me.
That accursed gallery. Those accursed paintings. That accursed Sarah.
No, lo que pasa es que tu marido estaba deschavetando. Le sobraba una neurona, le faltaban dos. Uy, dissertation. Esta obra de un estudiante en forma de libro, aunque las observaciones que contiene son relevantes, evidencia una falta de experiencia propia de un profesional de la medicina. Sin embargo, su planteamiento nos permite considerarlo. Dame medicina para medicar. Bueno, vamos a cerrar para matarla al otro.
A strange Amerindian pendant.
No, cierto. Aumenta mi ocultismo. La ballena y el dios. ¿Qué? La ballena y el frío. Ah, no. Ah, sí. The God. ¿Qué otro tiene?
I could use one of those. Strange. For months, Sarah Hawkins refused to part with her painting, to finally give it away for nothing.
Querido Francis, te suplico que renuncies a la idea de poseer este maldito cuadro. Sin embargo, si en algo valoras nuestra amistad, líbrame del peso de esa culpa. Yo estoy medio disléxico, no sé, no leo bien. Vení, vas a ser responsable de tu caída, vagabundo. Tu amiga Sarah Hawkins.
An old diary.
Este volumen dedica bastante atención a la comunidad del reverendo Whitewood. Su esposa expresa su preocupación. Ya bueno, ocultismo. Niveles. Hay niveles. Para subir mi psicología. No puedo subir ocultismo. Eso se sube automáticamente. Desde 535 vamos a subir psicología. Porque quiero ser psicólogo, mamá. Psicólogo. Profesional, experto, profesional, principiante, profesional. Profesional, muy profesional. ¿Qué es este libro? ¿Qué? Una especie de enciclopedia de criaturas monstruosas y desconocidas. Empiezo a pensar que existen. ¿Qué dice? Malos bestiarios. Uy, bebé. Malos bestiarios. Ay, bebé. Espérate. Cordura. Momento macabro. Dice los herejes. Los desafíos y calvarios por los que pasamos, pero sobrevives con todas tus fuerzas. Mantienes la mente ocupada para ahuyentar la pobreza. Por una, aún tienes tiempo de... Ay, bebé. La gente de plástico, Darkwater, Charles Hawkins, Flores, el hombre muerto, la mujer de plástico. Una grabación. Vamos a ver qué es esto.
That's twice you've stepped on my toes, Detective. Try not to make a habit of it.
I've got a lot of bad habits.
Some can be more fatal than others. What have you come looking for in this gallery?
I have a well-off client in Boston who heard about the death of Francis Sanders and wanted me to size up his estate before making an offer to his widow.
Perfect, Detective. The pretext? The body language? I would have bought it if it was the first time I'd seen your face. You're a good talker, Pierce. Your story will do for the moment.
And you? What brings you to the Sanders home?
I'm here on business. Irene asked me to liquidate all these paintings. She doesn't intend to hang around here for long.
Why you?
Believe it or not, there aren't many collectors on Darkwater. It needs someone with a network and a means of transport to the mainland. A choice that comes down to Fitzroy and me. And I'm far more pleasant, wouldn't you say? Not now, sweetheart. I'd like to read this without some snoop looking over my shoulder.
Bueno, veamos qué hay adentro y qué es lo que debo abrazar. Este es para escondernos. Eso se parece a lo de la 1. ¿Dónde es el 1? Digo, de Call of Cthulhu del 2004, creo. 2010, no me acuerdo, un juego de computadora antiguo. Que es antes que esto.
These artifacts date from pre-Columbian times. These artifacts date from pre-Columbian times.
Puras varitas. San Cthulhu. Ahora vamos a tomarle. Sonríe. Mono. Y ahí está el cuadro que no quiero ver todavía. Hay que revisarlo. Dice Source Conversion.
The public entrance to the gallery.
Daniel Lyons Den. Se ve extraño, pareciera que es otra cosa. Sí, el pata tenía problemas. Serios problemas.
Why was he so interested in old weapons?
¿Cómo entras? Metes a tu casa estos objetos tan grandes. Las puertas no se ven tan grandes. Acá hay algo que explota. Listo. Esto que escondernos. Ahorita vamos al cuadro ya. Un gato con tentáculos.
The man transformed an entire wing of his manor into an art gallery.
La galería del horror, porque esto está horrible. Un pozo extraño. El esqueleto bailarín. A ver, a ver, a ver. Ahí está acá. Ya vamos a coger el aceite. No mires la foto. Tengo miedo, mamá. Uy, el niño jalando el ganso. ¿Está bien? Un ángel, una cabeza gigante. Ya vamos al cuadro, maldita sea. Esa firma es especial. Uy, el vagabundo. Vagabundo. Quiero recorrer el mundo. Eso significa que la fregue.
What the hell was that?
No, amiguito. Changos. Ahora quiero verlo bien. No te preocupes. La dejo. Encima subes y todo. A ver, a ver, a ver. Demonios, he pasado Alien Isolation. Prácticamente lo mismo.
What the hell was that?
Ya debo huir. Chango me dio. Sí, sí.
What the hell was that?
Ya. Para allá, para allá. Sí, lo sé, lo sé. Yo quiero irme.
I can't even touch it.
Lárgate que me estreso. Tranquilo, tranquilo. Que sigue ahí. Sigue ahí, no veo nada.
There has to be a link. Maybe if I destroy it.
¿Cómo lo hago?
That thing came out of this painting. There has to be a link. Maybe if I destroy it.
Ahora, ¿cómo hago? ¿Cómo hago?
What the hell was that?
No me destruyo.
Is this dagger part of Sanders' collection, or was he seeking to acquire it?
Con permiso. Acá.
Damn. Maybe I can use this dagger.
Sácame la mano ahí.
Damn it! This dagger didn't work.
Espera. Tranquilidad y paciencia. Ay, es esta. Creo que sí la he visto por acá. ¿Y es esta? Permiso, amiguito. Tengo que destruir un cuadrito. Ya lo entendí.
What the hell was that?
Lo entendí.
Is this dagger part of Sanders' collection, or was he seeking to acquire it? This dagger looks different. Maybe.
Ya la vi.
What the hell was that?
Ya que se pase.
Is this dagger part of Sanders' collection, or was he seeking to acquire it? Maybe I can use this dagger. What the hell was that?
De tantos intentos de volver hasta allá.
Is this dagger part of Sanders' collection, or was he seeking to acquire it? That maybe I can use this dagger. What the hell was that?
Supongo que me puedo ir por los cuchillos.
What the hell was that?
El papelillo ese. Los cuchillos y todo el papelillo.
Maybe I can use this dagger. Damn it! This dagger didn't work. Is this dagger part of Sanders' collection, or was he seeking to acquire it? What the hell was that?
Ahora vamos a ver si se guarda la pista. Ah, no, no se guarda.
Damn. This dagger looks different.
Y a ver, vamos a intentarlo con la otra.
What the hell was that? Maybe I can use this dagger.
Dale, bebé.
Damn it! This dagger. Is this dagger part of Sanders' collection, or was he seeking to acquire it? This dagger looks different.
What's the matter with you?
Después de 8,000 intentos.
You sure you won't be needing that hand? You're losing it, Detective. At this rate, you're right. The bottle will get you before I do.
You didn't see anything.
I saw you within an inch of putting a dagger through your forearm. Did I miss something more interesting?
I was attacked by a creature. I pushed it back, I think.
I think so too.
I ran, screamed, broke a pane of glass. You were in the next room and you didn't hear a thing.
If I hadn't heard a thing, I'd still be in the other room. The door was blocked. I got in as soon as I could. I like to look after my goods.
You mean me?
Don't flatter yourself, sweetheart. I'm talking about the contents of this gallery. And by the way, where do you think you're going with that dagger?
It saved my life. It's an extraordinary dagger.
You should talk to Algernon Drake. He's an antique dealer here on Darkwater. He'll tell you all about it. From what I saw in the ledgers, it was him who sold it to Sanders.
It's not your style to give me free information like that.
Take it as payment for being my canary. A simple trade-off. Now go see your antique seller. I've still got things to settle with Irene.
hombres son mucho más que siempre. Estoy un poco loco porque creo que sí cogí la llave correcta y no me la agarró, a menos que debía haber cogido primero el papel, no sé. Bueno, seguir hablando con la gente, pues. Con la gente loca de... Uy, alguien no le gustan los peperones, creo. ¿Alguien me está viendo? Si me están viendo, escriban en el chat. Hola chicos. Compártanme. Suscríbanse, no sé.
Where's the bookseller?
A ver, veamos. Debería poder activar la vista detective automáticamente.
Freud's The Interpretation of Dreams. It's the work that laid the foundations of psychoanalysis at the beginning of this century.
A ver, esta obra práctica sobre la psicología escrita por Sigmund Freud describe una serie de técnicas para la interpretación analítica de los sueños. Te acostaste con tu madre, entonces tienes un problema con tu madre. Si tienes problemas con tu madre, entonces es porque tienes problemas con tu madre. Tú con tu madre. ¿Mencionas una virus sobre mi psicoanálisis? Un juego de ajedrez. La historia de Arwater. Aún esto aumentará en el siglo XIX, en plena edad dorada de la industria ballenera norteamericana, empezaron a desaparecer las ballenas de las aguas de Balboa. Este fenómeno resulta doblemente misterioso si tenemos en cuenta que hasta entonces la región había sido un auténtico refugio para estos cetáceos. En 1847 de persecución regresó a puerto con una criatura gigantesca a bordo. La tripulación aseguraba que el monstruo había devorado todas las ballenas desaparecidas tras una noche de combate encarnizado. Los juguetes lograron captar más de la bestia y el labor. Que es un momento ocultista. Y este jarro momento ocultista. Necesito ocultismo. O sea. Eso. El encendedor es más chévere. Es más chico también. Uy, ya me vale. Ya. Ah, 20.000 euros de bienes submarinos. Todo. Brevario y medicina, toma 3, así. Hasta hace pocos años, un solo profesional de la medicina podía aspirar a abarcar todos los conocimientos existentes sobre la materia. Este volumen, que concluye la serie, demuestra que era en los tiempos modernos en obra expuesta de relatividad de eminentes autores. ¿Qué es medicina al máximo? No, no al máximo. Es cierto, tengo que subir 3 puntos. Hay que subir psicología. Como ocultismo ya para 3, medicina.
The Book of Zion is the foundational work behind Helena Blavatsky's Theosophical movement. Its followers place truth on the same footing as a religion.
Estos son cultos tibetanos constituyen el origen del movimiento esotérico fundado por la creadora de Teosofía extrajo ocultismo. El ocultismo representa tu conocimiento de las ciencias ocultas. menciona. Claro que sí.
What does this strange book contain? This book contains unholy knowledge.
En esta recopilación se catalogan y clasifican criaturas de las que nunca había oído hablar, dioses de las estrellas, seres capaces de vivir entre dimensiones. Ahí está el bichejo. Ese es el bichejo. Se presenta como logo de referencia sobre la historia de mitos y ofrece detalles sobre la mitología, ya que se refiere a sus páginas tan cubiertas de ilustraciones fantasmagóricas. Que ya no me afectó. ¿Qué es esto? Ah, no me ha afectado. El Maelus bestiario. Supongo que quizás no. No. Qué raro. Sería para decir que no te vale pena, pero ahora sí vamos con la misión.
What happened here?
A ver, vamos a ver.
Let's start over. Where did they break in from? Blood. Seems like amateur work.
Pero debió seguir golpeando. El juego de ajedrez. Ah, no poco.
This burglar seems to be rather clumsy. What happened that made the burglar flee before finishing his work? What sort of thief leaves his tools at the crime scene? What killed all these animals?
Ahorita sí está abajo. No hay nada más. Que tome con tu sea el símbolo.
What the... Charles Hawkins? Looks like the symbol rejected Hawkins. Where did I see it? What sort of power did Sarah Hawkins' painting possess? Sarah Hawkins helped hide something in this safe. Drake put in a great deal of effort to hide whatever is in here. Everything is linked to the Sarah Hawkins case. Drake left instructions on how to find the combination of his safe.
Aquí parece haber una página oculta, se puede leer. Si alguien encuentra estas memorias, no cabe duda que tendré problemas. Mi única esperanza es que mi cuerpo y mis huesos estén estipulados recuperados y quemados. Como funeraria hasta que esté entregada a mi señora madre. Si conserva aún la lucidez, el siguiente mensaje que alguien de niñas y hermosas de familia están conmigo hasta que mi padre chavos. Nunca fui buena en el colegio. Poder aspirar a hacerse con mi más preciada posesión se encuentra en un campamento de 3 cilindros escondido donde se encuentra la vida y los estudios de un griego. Casi el nombre está numerado a pesar de que tal como afirma el famoso autor, el orden intenta perder la razón y el caos el deleite de la imaginación. En efecto, sospecha de mi predilección por el caso no. Debo reconocer. Me atoré. Y debo tomar agua. Si por ventura una persona, un genio más bien, llegara a elevarse a la altura del intelecto y encontrarse con Dios, la humildad de toda la combinación de la debe pedirle que confíe en su contenido admirado College Armitage de la Universidad de Miskatonic. Este contenido no solo es un vasto compendio de conocimientos, sino un arma demasiado peligrosa como para arriesgarse a que caiga en manos malas. Confía en que dicha persona sea capaz de apreciar en una justa medida. Ya vamos a la caja fuerte. A ver, busquemos pistas. Okay.
What link did he find between Charles Hawkins and an old amulet?
Esta llave con el símbolo arcano es la única protección para tu vida. Tiene forma de medallón cilíndrico y cuelga de una gruesa cadena. Hace siglos se grabaron en el centro de la estrella y la rama cuyo propósito es mantener a raya las fuerzas de los primigenios. Te das cuenta que fue Charles Hawking quien se le arrebató a su último propietario, un anticuario egipcio. Ya sé de quién hablamos. En los recortes de prensa donde se menciona el caso, la fecha del robo coincide con el último viaje de Hawkins al Cairo. El Cairo. Aún está por ver si conoce la auténtica naturaleza. Hay que jugar estos juegos de noche. A ver, vamos a ver. A ver,
Is everyone on this island taking sleeping pills?
No sé por qué siguen los pero... Ya.
What a strange amulet. I have a feeling I better not touch it.
Un amuleto extraño. El colgante tiene la forma de un perro grande. No sé qué. Espero que descubra algo más registrando la libreta. Extraño secreto.
Arkham editions. Never heard of them.
Una antología de poemas de Edward Pickman Derby. La colección, conocida también como Pesadilla Lírica, tuvo una extraordinaria acogida cuando se publicó en 1908. Por aquel entonces Derby solo contaba con 18 años. El volumen forma parte de la antología Arkham, unos lujos de esoterismo y fenómenos sobrenaturales.
How many volumes are there in this collection?
Por acá puede ver. Ya, 7. Libros sobre filosofía.
Another volume by Arkham Editions. Arkham Editions. Never heard of him. How many volumes are there in this collection? Another volume by Arkham Editions.
No veo ninguna colección.
Arkham Editions? Never heard of him.
Volumen 2.
How many volumes are there in this collection?
Volumen 1.
Another volume by Arkham Editions.
Cosas que no deberían existir. A ver.
Cylinders that Drake tried to hide. I should perhaps listen to them.
Todo es Arkham en este lugar. Vamos a ver. Ah, este ya lo vi. No lo ayuda. Pero este libro.
An old diary.
Ya todavía no lo ayudamos.
A kind of chalice.
Uy, ahí está Cthulhu.
And these red drops, like precious stones, lie fixed, set in divine gold. To be the guardian of the Grail does not protect me from its attractions, Henry. And I do confess it. I am willing to pay to know its secrets. I finally understood that we were only pieces on the chessboard of the gods. Let those of us who are still standing protect our White Queen from their dark soldiers. I see our number dwindling, and my will strengthens as my apprehension grows. We shall refuse to be the playthings of destiny. Dear friend, I thank you again for the anthology of the works of Arkham Editions that you sent me. Volume 9, Azathoth and Other Horrors, seemed particularly relevant to my research. I never tire of browsing through them.
El tipo estaba loco. Eso sin duda. A ver.
So these are the volumes that Drake was talking about in his message. What did Drake say about this collection? Drake talked about a particular volume. So these are the volumes that Drake was talking about in his message. What did Drake say about this collection? Drake talked about a particular volume. So these are the volumes that Drake was talking about in his message. What did Drake say about this collection?
Necesito un papel. Acá hay hoja y papel. Vamos a apuntar. A ver. Uno, dos. Acá está hasta todo. Hasta todo es el 3. 3 es 9. No me acuerdo cuál es.
And these red drops, like precious stones, lie fixed, set in divine gold. To be the guardian of the Grail does not protect me from its attractions, Henry. And I do confess it. I am willing to pay to know its secrets. I finally understood that we were only pieces on the chessboard of the gods. Let those of us who are still standing protect our White Queen from their dark soldiers. I see our number dwindling, and my will strengthens as my apprehension grows. We shall refuse to be the playthings of destiny.
Drake talked about a particular volume. So these are the volumes that Drake was talking about in his message. What did Drake say about this collection? Drake talked about a particular volume. So these are the volumes that Drake was talking about in his message. What did Drake say about this collection? Drake talked about a particular volume. So these are the volumes that Drake was talking about in his message. What did Drake say about this collection? Drake talked about a particular volume. So these are the volumes that Drake was talking about in his message.
La yuca.
The Queen has little protection. The Queen has little protection.
Puede ser 2, 4, 5, 6, 7. Puede ser 8. 8. 8 o 8 o 2. A ver, ¿qué dice el 1?
And these red drops, like precious stones, lie fixed, set in divine gold. To be the guardian of the Grail does not protect me from its attractions, Henry. And I do confess it.
The chalice of knowledge.
Uno, dos, tres,
I am willing to pay to know its secrets. And these red drops, like precious stones, lie fixed, set in divine gold. To be the guardian of the Grail does not protect me from its attractions, Henry. And I do confess it. I am willing to pay to know its secrets.
Lo vemos. Cinco. 8. Ok. Su madre. Y necromónico. Amigo, te metes con fuerzas que no entiendes. Uy, la palabra. Oh, su madre. Un libro encuadernado con piel humana que parece llamar al detective. El único libro encuadernado con piel humana que conozco es el Necromónico. Listo, empezamos. Seguimos.
Dr. Colden, this man's condition is deteriorating.
What says Dr. Fuller? It's his patient, after all.
He's busy with Captain Fitzroy. He specifically asked us not to bother him when that's the case.
Oh, of course. I'll see what I can do. Mr. Blake, can you hear me? I'm Dr. Colden. We'll take care of you.
There's nothing we can do. I tried talking to him. He's catatonic.
What can you tell me about him?
He was highly agitated an hour ago. We were about to tie him down when he fell asleep. 10 minutes ago, he curled up into a fetal position. I thought he was waking up, but no.
What are his symptoms?
His temperature has been going down, his skin losing its color, his body rigid. I closed his eyes myself. They were glassing over. I didn't want them to dry out, and I couldn't bear to look at the expression on his face.
You did well. Don't worry. Let's stay professional, if you will. I don't recognize him. Did he just arrive on the island?
He said he worked on the docks, but not with Captain Fitzroy. I think he works for Ms. Baker.
Who?
You know, the woman at the head of their gang. They call her Cat.
Oh, I see.
Do you have other questions?
Show me his file.
That's not possible.
Don't tell me Dr. Fuller has taken this file as well. We need it.
That's why I called you. This man's ailment has been hidden from us.
Come on now. What was he treated for?
An intoxication, I was told. After inhaling chemicals.
That'll do for the time being.
Any idea what this man might be undergoing?
Very well. I'll examine him. Severe malnutrition. Swollen abdomen with traces of petechia. Doesn't seem like an edema. Slight protuberances seem to indicate the presence of a foreign body. His skin shows abnormal loss of color and seems dried out. He's totally dehydrated. His fingertips and toes seem to feature a slight ring under the skin, tender at the touch, slightly sticky. 30-year-old subject, severe hypothermia, erythematous papules around the eyes and eardrums, necrosed palpebral tissue. Lord, this smell.
So, Doctor, an opinion?
I'm not sure I have the necessary knowledge to treat this man.
Don't say that. You're our most worthy doctor after Dr. Fuller.
Some of his symptoms are beyond my comprehension.
What did you find?
Did you examine his abdomen? It would seem there's something inside.
He hasn't eaten in days. Are you certain it's not an edema?
No. Can't you recognize an edema? Pushing with your finger won't leave a trace. And look at these bumps.
It's not like he could be pregnant.
Whatever it is, this man has something inside him that shouldn't be there. We should operate on him at once.
Dr. Fuller said not to worry, that the edema would go away by itself.
You know, I'm not sure Dr. Fuller is telling the truth. In spite of the muscle contractions, his arms seem limp.
Yes. They can't have decalcified, not at this rate.
And yet, if there is a bone in this arm, it's softer than that of a newborn baby. What about his cranium?
It's soft at the touch. It does seem like the skull of a baby.
Look at these sticky rings growing at his fingertips. What can be happening?
I'm sure you'll find an explanation. You have to.
I see signs of hypodermoclysis, but he's still dehydrated. When was his last IV?
He's constantly under perfusion. I've even gone beyond the recommended dose to no avail. And you won't believe me, but when we bathed him earlier...
He seemed to feel better?
Yes. Like he needs an aquarium, not a perfusion. But that doesn't explain his condition.
I almost don't believe it myself, but these symptoms are not those usually associated with the human species.
What do you mean? Don't tell me you believe in extraterrestrials.
No. This poor man is from our world, all right. But his body is undergoing unnatural mutations. And this transformation is killing him. His body simply can't cope.
Where could he have gotten such an infection?
I pray that it's not here.
Dr. Colden,
May I know what you're doing to my patient?
What I'm doing? How about what you've done to him?
Let us calm down, my dear Marie. I don't appreciate your tone, nor your insinuations. I've done to him what I do to all my patients, provide him with the best available care.
Your imagination is without limit. It's your homemade drug again, is it not? Those people are not your guinea pigs.
There, there. What have you seen to put you in such a state?
His limbs? His body temperature? I don't know what experiments you've undertaken, but this is going too far.
Oh, I sense some excitement beneath your indignation. Could it be you wish to join me in my scientific endeavors?
You are a brilliant physician, Dr. Fuller, but this man has the attributes of some kind of animal.
Fascinating. An animal, you say? Could you be more precise? Cephalopod, perhaps?
This amuses you.
Your reaction does. I know your thirst for knowledge, Doctor. It's your innocent worries for this man that have you overreacting.
For this man, and the others whose medical files you've been hiding.
I have to protect my discovery. These people owe me their life, but the world isn't ready yet. It will be, in time.
I will not let you do this.
You disappoint me, Marie, but I still have hope you'll one day share my point of view. In the meantime, take care of your own patients and try not to forget who you're dealing with.
Was that a threat? What did he mean?
It was a warning. Dr. Fuller is this institution's founder, and one of our profession's most his. If I continue to protest, I will only ruin my reputation and career.
It's scandalous. Can't we do anything? Is there no evidence of his crimes?
Oh, that evidence exists. I'm sure of it. I need to find the missing medical files.
And where would you find those? In his office? What if you get caught?
I'd rather not think about that. I'm counting on your discretion.
Of course, Doctor. You can count on me. I'll keep mum.
No puedo ver a Pierce.
Doctor, please. My chest. Oh.
His perfusion of a semi-physiological solution doesn't seem to work. He's undergoing a ventricular fibrillation. Nurse? Deborah, come and help me, please. His potassium level is too high. Replace it with 2% glucose solution with insulin, calcium, and sodium bicarbonate.
I'll tend to it right away.
Thank you. He's in your hands. Hay fever. What's he doing here? He broke his back in an accident down by the docks.
Ah, the whaling station. What's wrong with me?
What are you talking about?
Doctor, that you?
Yes, it's Dr. Colden. Tell me what happened.
It's the old whaling station. See?
What did you see there?
Nothing. Nothing at all. The floor was all rotten and I fell straight through.
And that's how you broke your back?
Perhaps. No idea. Passed out. I'll just sleep a bit more.
What is the boiler room key doing here? The key to the boiler room. Not where I expected to find it. Another insomniac. I should find the cause for such a widespread trouble.
Dr. Colden, here you are at last. This patient was again brought up to the psychiatric wing. We've been following the treatment you prescribed, but the dysgeusia persists and he's lost a great deal of weight. We haven't been able to move him. The stress makes him hyperallergic.
Sir, I am going to examine you. Do you understand? Inject him with a dose of pentobarbital, intramuscular, so that I can conduct the clinical examination. He bit his lips so much, they're still bleeding. White froth, evidently because of such drooling. His binds left bloody wounds.
So, Doctor, what should we do with this patient?
Those basement brutes tied him up too tight, and now he's hurt.
I keep trying to heal his wounds, but he reopens them.
Do you have a diploma as a nurse?
Excuse me?
So take care of this man. Why did nobody tell me about her admission? Mrs. Sanders? Gentlemen, may I help you?
We're waiting on news regarding our mother, Maureen Harding. She came in with a kidney problem, but we haven't heard anything since.
I'm sorry. Dr. Fuller is a very busy man.
Well, is there anyone else who can tell us what's going on?
She's our only family, you know, and we can't even see her medical file.
Don't worry. I'm aware our institution is not always welcoming. But your mother is in good hands. I'll tend to her myself, and keep you informed at once. Would that suit you?
Well, that sure sounds great to us, Doctor. Thank you.
But those are just words, so we're not budging.
Very well. At least I'll know where to find you. Patients and hospital personnel eat the same food.
Watch out for the water, Doctor.
No, you're pulling my leg. I'm not joking. I saw the schedule. She's alone in the bathroom again. And she still says nothing to that old witch, Donovan?
Oh, listen to the way you talk, you naughty girl. And the answer is no. You can imagine that she doesn't dare say a thing. That silly goose lets herself be trodden on.
Oh well, at least we won't have to clean for a while.
And just wait and see the next time the water's cut off.
We've been waiting to be restocked for weeks. We're running out of this medicine.
I know, Doctor. We sent the purchase order, though, and Mrs. Donovan refused it.
Once again.
Can't you do anything?
Donovan takes her instructions directly from Dr. Fuller. I'm afraid I can do nothing about it for the moment.
I have little time for you, Doctor. You'll find out that it's not only the doctors who have things to do. Wait a minute. Where do you think you're going? Dr. Colden.
Mrs. Donovan.
Nobody goes into Dr. Fuller's office. But rest assured, I'll tell him you came by.
That won't be necessary. Thank you.
I will tell him, nonetheless.
No puedo disfrutar. ¿Cómo lo distraigo?
Let's hope I can go through the administration office. Let's hope I can go through the administration office.
Dr. Colden, we need you at once in Dormitory B.
What is the problem?
Mr. Evans seems to be having trouble with his IV.
I've done an exam. Deborah is looking after him.
And the family of Mrs. Harding is asking to see her medical file.
I'll never understand why it's so hard to see patients' files around here.
Rules are rules. See, with Dr. Fuller, he's in charge. Anyhow, they're still waiting, and I don't think they'll leave until they get what they want.
Understood. Anything else?
As a matter of fact, yes. A man has been brought up from the basement.
I saw him, yes. It's always the same thing. They bring them up, without any explanation, with a multitude of self-inflicted injuries. We take care of the wounds, and then they leave. Each time, I feel like I'm sending them back to hell.
Their affliction is not our responsibility. You cannot save everybody, Doctor.
This man, Edward Pierce, his file is incomplete. What did Fuller do to him? In theory, this is where we hang the key to the boiler room. Dr. Fuller always keeps his key with him.
Doctor, those people need you at the dormitory.
I'll tend to it. Don't worry.
Dr. Colden.
Chronic insomnia. Like half the island.
I'll just sleep a bit more.
Ah, so there's Harding. She's still sleeping. Given her file, a nephrectomy would have been inevitable. But Fuller was able to save her kidney.
So, Doctor, have you been able to examine our mother?
I've tended to her, and I have good news. Her blood analysis is reassuring. Her kidneys are as new.
Are you talking about the same person? This is miraculous.
She's still recovering, but you may speak to her upon her awakening.
Oh, thank you so much, Doctor. We'll wait for her to wake up. We've been here since this morning, so it won't make a difference. Thank you again, Doctor.
Don't go falling over. That would be stupid.
The answers must be hidden in Fuller's office.
Everybody says it. She's a witch, an old hag. I didn't make this up. And I'm the one who pays. What a pest. It's so unfair.
It's temperamental, if I understand correctly. Elizabeth? You all right? Why is this room in such a state?
Because, as always, I'm cleaning it by myself. And the water was once again shut off this morning. I had to bother Mrs. Donovan again, giving her a new excuse to belittle me.
Do you really need Mrs. Donovan to open a valve? Why not ask the janitor?
I can't make these decisions without her approval. Imagine if there were a leak. Anyhow, the boiler room is locked half the time. So every time the water gets shut off, I have to go and endure her reproach until she's settled the problem.
I see. Courage, Elizabeth.
Thank you, Doctor.
I have little time for you, Doctor. You'll find out that it's not only the doctors who have things to do.
The door to the boiler room is locked. Where did I see that key? Ah, the operating room is never accessible after an operation.
Thank you for your help, Doctor.
Thank you. I'll be going.
Dr. Colden?
We're running out of this medicine.
I know, Doctor. We sent the purchase order, though, but Mrs. Donovan refused it.
Once again.
Can't you do anything?
Donovan takes her instructions directly. The doses prescribed by Fuller are far too high.
por acá, creo.
The key to the boiler room. All I have to do is shut off the water and hope Donovan takes the bait.
Ahora sí, vamos al boiler room.
I can't shut this with my bare hands. I need a tool.
Necesitamos estos dos tipos, yo lo sé.
Thank you again, Doctor.
Ya bueno, la sufrí, pero se logró.
I feel guilty about Elizabeth, but I need the diversion. It's temperamental, if I understand correctly.
I have little time for you, Doctor. You'll find out that it's not only the doctors who have things to do.
It's temperamental, if I understand correctly.
Dr. Colden, might there be a problem with the water?
I was about to mention it. It seems it's been cut off yet again.
I can't take this, Marie. I feel I'm gonna burst.
It's not your fault if we have defective plumbing.
And yet, I'm the one who gets punished because I'm gonna have to square off with that annoying old witch. Courage, Elizabeth. Here we go. And hold your tongue this time.
At last. The missing files must be hidden here. The Stendhal syndrome. Of course. This is where Fuller found his diagnosis for Francis Sanders. Something is wrong with these masts. It's some sort of puzzle.
¿Qué es esto?
I've unlocked something. Patient files. I was right. I should go another way.
¿Y ahora vamos a poder escuchar el audio?
Conclusions. Session number 17. Patient? Sarah Hawkins. The patient appears to have finally accepted the illusory nature of what she calls the mythos. It goes without saying that these peculiar delusions are the price that comes with her exceptional gifts.
why does Dr. Fuller write psychological reports about Sarah Hawkins?
At first, I presumed that her blood was the key. But I found nothing to explain Mrs. Hawkins' abilities.
The poor souls downstairs are not Fuller's only subjects.
Then James came, irate that Charles was keeping secrets from him. I presume that he will try to break into the basement sooner or later. I am prepared.
Hawkins, Fitzroy, and Fuller. What is the connection between these three?
It is fortunate that I had the presence of mind to set the morgue in the basement. When all the fuss about the Hawkins incident finally comes to an end, I will dispose of her belongings. In the meantime, they must remain hidden in plain sight.
Why is Ethan on medication? Of course. Sarah Hawkins is the connection. I must go back to the basement. I should go another way.
Ah, now that's the Marie that I know. I knew I could count on your scientific curiosity. It's time to show you what you were so eager to discover.
If you're gonna shoot me, at least have the decency to look me in the eyes.
Turn around. Slowly. Talk, filthy thief! Oh, I swear I'll shoot!
Take a minute to look around. Everything points to Charles Hawkins.
He's dead!
No. He was here for a very specific item.
Oh, no.
The book. Why was it in the safe?
Have you read it?
Answer the question.
How foolish of you. Now you won't be able to escape his will. What did it show you?
She went into Fuller's office. She was looking for Sarah Hawkins' corpse.
Sarah Hawkins, you say? Let's go back to the start, shall we? Whose life did the Necronomicon choose to show you?
Dr. Colden. She was at the Riverside Institute. She's in danger. I have to go.
Wait! No one knows the occult better than me. You might need my help.
All right. All right. I might need you after all.
Perfect. Let's meet later at the Hawkins mansion. Now go! Rescue the doctor!
Thank you, Drake.
Jaja. El libro proyecta aquí. Pierce.
I pray that Colden is really here and alive.
Vamos a abrir todos los cajones. Diario.
An old diary.
Leería el libro. Claro que sí. Oh, sí.
Right. Enough time wasted. Colden needs me. I must find her. The Scylla is here. Like in the vision. Colden came this way. How old is Fuller, really? What the... Fuller, too.
¿Qué hago con mis? ver, vamos a ver si hay... Uf, 4 puntitos. Y si no, ya...
No! No! My God! What is happening to me?
What was that? It's as if I'd been transported somewhere else.
What happened? Something has changed, but what?
ver, no entiendo nada. Si voy por acá, voy por acá. No puedo aumentar la intensidad, voy por acá. Pero no puedo. Ok. Calor.
Destiny, it has trapped you.
You are confronting powers that surpass you.
Sí, claro. ¿Cómo pasa eso? Entiendo muy bien. Vamos a hacer ejercicio.
It looks like things are back to normal.
Bueno, muchachos, creo que hasta acá nomás queda nuestra aventura. Me ha movido mucho el tapete. Ahí en parte esta nota. Muy fácil que acá vienen más cositas. ¿Es en serio? Bueno, hasta acá nomás queda todo.